He held a grudge against the devil, but more so with the God. Pick one and give it a name. He, like the great pretender, sends shivers down his crooked spine when he thinks back to the time before when they were close, shared dreams like yin and yang, tagged over with a smiley, a delicate balance of belief, snapped with the kind of divine carelessness that turns people into salt and runs blood through drain pipes. The wishbone splintered halfway between the flames of hell and its smoke that billows in the sky, the place where angels reside. He used to be part of this holy trinity, passing spliffs and prophecies around a round table, slouched back in his chair, leaning on the weakest leg, hoping that maybe he might fall and lighten the mood. Let me introduce Limbo the clown. He found deep pockets of inspiration in the lining of his hand-stitched patchwork and polka dot baby grow suit. Color was his thing, bright color, slapdash face paint showed how wide his lips would smile if they could. And tears, forming blue pearls in the place where eyelids touch, hadn't met sadness. Their creator was the unashamed joy that respawned them in the split seconds that make up 7 days. He knew not what they said about guys with big shoes scuffed on sandy pilgrimages through time and space, shepherding the essence of his beliefs, but his technicolor crown birthed a burning bush of coiled hair and gave him the idea to create slinkies on the day that God rested. It was the same day he made dodo birds, dinosaurs and funny bones, and wished the Irish good luck. His breast pocket was where he kept his rainbows and confetti, ready to add a splash of color to dimly lit moments. Baggy sleeves gave room for his trickery to breathe through the gills in his needlework, and caution to the wind allowed the sun to give his nose a rosy glow on the days he spent marveling at what his mother had created. Around the time we switched the letters A and D and B and C and started counting numbers, he was giving Jesus tips on party tricks like turning water into wine and telling the devil to play dead to see if the world remembered how to say his name. On days when preaching took place, he'd burn effigies of anything, dance like the possessed and speak human to human about how some things are too big to describe, so trust your eyes and whatever it is that makes you smile. He'd carve animals out of stone and watch happily as carnival kids walked around dragging these figurines on the ground. They were taught not to trust him, but they didn't care. He wore a smile while their parents looked to God for punishment, like masochistic children shaken by the unpredictability of freedom and what death might bring. For him, the blandness of purity and fables of the damned were too tame a thought, and heaven offered him only white and hell the deepest black. But he wanted color, cause that's what he saw. If this was a simple place where darkness stopped and daylight began, like twilight wasn't worth witnessing, then he wouldn't be here. He wanted his story told, but not in the scriptures by those who through divine pillow taught birth the ugly child he never saw. No, he planted his spirit in painted faces and the diversity of our fluorescent existence, so he keeps heaven and hell at an arm's length, just close enough to humor himself with the fragility of both and stay safe in the knowledge that the Most High, with his head in the clouds and his inbred pyromaniac red cousin with the horns, haven't haunted this place in a long time. And whilst the stitching in his patchwork might be fraying, its fabric won't fade, and his face paint is resistant to moments when the heavens open. He knows limbo doesn't exist between biblical lines, but it's fine, cause he chose to fall back from his chair, flinging cream-filled pies as he did towards the clouds, landing face up on the ground, laughing uncontrollably at the irony of his banishment. No longer would he be stuck in the middle of a checkered chessboard that entrances the colorblind to believe that in a place where life is as vivid as midnight rainbows, anything could be as black and white as the time before the time before time.